you guys still hear me? Hello? 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 Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Whatever was happening with the Twitch channel, I have no clue. So, it is possible that even on replay, if you're tuning in, you just tuned into the second half and may not have been able to see the first. Deeply apologize if that's the case. You've missed a really good game in which the White Owls, who are Wood Elves, tried to go up the sideline with the opening drive. They got nailed there by the Orcs, who dislodged the ball. After the scrum ensued, ball was thrust into the sideline. The fans threw it back in. It ended up on the pitch over by the other side of the field, by the Wood Elves end zone, and the Orcs took advantage of that, ran it in at the very end, turn 7, I believe, and in the process also beat up some Wood Elves. So if you look over here on the sideline, you've got 2 Wood Elf linemen, including one that had movement 8, gone for the game. They won't be permanently injured, but they are gone for the game. Also, the War Dancer, one of the War Dancers, the one with the movement 9, Thatsilla, has been sidelined, at least for the moment, so it's going to take a touchdown to get him back in the game. In the meantime, on the other side of the field, you have the Green Tide has only lost Stinky Charlie, their goblin. So the numbers advantage right now is with the Orcs. The wizard that the White Owls had was spent. Unfortunately for them, it did not prevent the touchdown. The Orcs are caged up, and now this is the situation that the Elves do not want to be in, where they are going to have to get aggressive, because if they just sit back and try to play don't let him get in the end zone, they're going to end up losing 1-0. So here comes the remaining War Dancer, Milmnor, with an opening block against Blackwork Fun Bus, and that's a back cartwheel kick. I don't know what you officially call that. And then Milmnor's gonna back up. Looks like we have one person in the chat now. That's more shots. Dalt, you still with me over here on the chat?
Yes, I am.
All right, cool. Good. And we do have, in case you're wondering, we have our coaches in the party as well. They're hearing everything we're saying. Every once in a while, when we criticize them enough that they feel they want to jump in and defend themselves, you will hear their voice. But for the most part, it's just going to be Dalt and I doing our thing. Oh, we got three viewers now. Three viewers. Looks like the Orcs are not just going to sit back and make the Elves come to them. They are getting aggressive, and there's Big Mo laying out a Wood Elf. Seeing 2 of the Wood Elves laying on their back. Big Mo on that War Dancer. And there's still a blitz out there. Looks like the Green Tide is probably trying to think, how do I use my blitz to get to that annoying War Dancer who's been making my life difficult? Minty comes over and puts another elf on his back. The blitz is used on the left flank, and it looks like that cage is going to move left.
Right on the mark of where that fireball went off earlier as well.
Yeah, you can still see the charred remains of Stinky Charlie over there. So this is where the new rules on Season 3 as far as standings determination is going to come into effect. As you know, this season, there is no more coaches poll as the main determining factor as to who gets into the championship and who gets into what bowl game, etc. These are determined by objective standings, meaning wins, losses, and ties, they all equal points. Well, losses equal 0 points, ties equal 1, and wins equal 3. So if you get into a tie with somebody atop your conference or in the conference standings, the next determining factor then becomes wins. And being that, the points kind of usually equal out, The third tiebreaker, or the third tiebreaker might become important, and that's net points for and net points against. So it looks like Thunden is not just going to sit back and try to win 1-0. He's probably going to try to inflict a crushing score on our rookie coach, Stu, and try to run up that score in case he sees another team atop the standings that wants to take his standing.
He may be as well trying to get a better spot in the coaches poll, because the coaches poll is still a thing. It's just a closed set of people now that was voted on by the members of the MML last season. So. And
while it doesn't affect standings, there is that pride.
Yes, correct.
I mean, I know I felt personally disrespected week 1 when I was number 29.
Hey, I can sing. Did you?
You guys must have got how much hate mail did you get from me?
No need to be like that.
I didn't never see any in mine, but I'm the farm at mmlpro.com. So.
Oh well, no, there was a voodoo doll with your name on it, doll. So sorry to tell you. So if you had bad luck that week, I'm strongly versed in Santeria. And right now, the White Owls with the ball trying to figure out how they're going to dislodge the ball from this cage. Right now, very conservative and vanilla defense, not taking any huge chances here. And as the time wears on, you may see the desperation increase. The remaining War Dancer moving back out of reach of the angry Orc Clifford. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Minty over there. It's the Black Orc. And for our viewers, I've just enabled the setting that allows you to see each of the traits. Keep it on until it gets in the way. Gornat's stunned. The cage is still pretty intact though. So turn 10 has not been super big for the Wood Elves yet.
Smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
Ooh, that's a good block there.
And
on the Black Orc.
Yeah.
He's going to open up the cage just a little bit there. He does have a man on that Black Orc, so it's going to be hard for him to dodge out.
Yeah.
And the only base contact is the ball carrier and the troll there. So, you know, there's still a lot of possibilities that could go wrong for the Orcs. You could get really stupid there, and then if he tried to hit with the ball carrier, he could lose the ball. Still anyone's ball there, really.
I didn't realize that the Green Tide was playing with a journeyman. But there he is.
Is he a lineman? Let's see.
Yeah, he's a lineman. Oh, Big Mo! What a time for him to be really stupid.
Did this guy leave his
That does not help. Really does not help the situation. And are you going to see the Orcs move this cage?
That's still a tackle zone on the ball carrier there by the Orcs.
And now completely unaided by Big Mo.
Correct.
Fortunately for them, the blitz has not been used, but there is enough elves in the way. They're using the blitz. Another elf stunned. And really the White Owls can't afford these numbers to keep dwindling.
There is a Black Orc blitz there. There's also the possibility of a blitz with the blitzer, but he would have to make the dodge.
With the ball carrier? Or with the blitzer?
With the blitzer.
Oh, right, you have to do him in the bottom right? Yeah.
Oh, it's only a push, but that's still going to free up.
Free up, yep.
The ball carrier.
And now this cage can move a little bit.
He's not going to be able to move very far.
No.
Because he is a Black Orc, and then the blitzer not going to move as well because he decided to block. So we're going to probably see this cage stall out right there.
Which is fine for the Orcs.
Exactly what we saw.
This is where patience comes in. Thunden is not afraid. More shots just pointed out in the chat that the Green Tide has 2 players out this game. So they're going to, I mean, looks like the White Owls have caught them at a good time. Again, much to my disappointment, no Elves have an MNG for next week. So, while I am hoping for a good match, I'm also hoping it costs the Woodies a little something.
At the same time,
Most hopefully is the word answer.
Two both downs on the block there.
So more shots pointed out that Snapper the thrower on one of his black horns is out. It's kind of a big deal. But looks like the Green Tide is managing just fine without them right now. Big block laid on the Orc, and looks like the Woodies are trying to penetrate that cage.
As soon as you said that, an elf laughed.
Yeah, penetrate. Well, they are called Woodies. It does help them that right now, actually, that Big Mo is really stupid.
That does definitely help.
But they still got to make a dodge to get in there and lay the block. Is now the time to take that chance. At some point, playing conservative is not going to do it when you're down 1-0.
Ooh, he's gonna look to get the tackle zone on the blitzer there with strength. No, with movement.
Are we seeing the beginning of a dominating performance by rookie coach, or will we see the veteran drop some knowledge on him?
Close they can smell your breath and see the dead insects in your teeth.
He's got a good surrounding on that cage there.
Looks like the Elves are.
Those are one-die blocks. Those are one-die blocks on both of those guys marking the blitzers. Oh, he's got a blitz here. He's going to free up one man.
With Rob Shank, too. That's a crushing mighty blow. The Elf takes a seat, and he is stunned. Just a stun. Come on, injuries. That also frees up Minty to open this cage up a little bit. Yeah, more shots as Thunden still in control. Definitely, I don't think Thunden ever lost control of this cage. You are seeing a cool, calm, and collected veteran coach in his comfort zone right now. There's a push. Cage still
only
very
a push
tight.
there. There's still possibilities that.
Harder they punch.
Big Mo back on the scene.
There's still a really good chance of getting that ball for the Wood Elves in the position they have. As long as they don't lose too many people, they can afford to get some knockdowns, but not some stuns and injuries like that.
Yeah, the stun's got to be that's a problem.
The good thing about those stuns, though, is it still does leave a square tied up. So that's more movement that the cage is kind of getting limited to, because they have to go around those down players.
Very true.
Oh, it's only a push.
More shots doesn't think the Wood Elves are even going to sniff the ball. I don't know, I heard Wood Elves like to sniff balls and they're pretty good at it. So, we'll see.
Wood Elves are definitely an explosive team. As we mentioned earlier, as long as you have somebody near the ball, there's always a chance to score with Elves, especially these high agility, high flying Wood Elves.
And the Green Tide's going to call it a turn, and they're daring the White Owls to come in and get Munch. Can the Wood get to Munch?
Got some face contact right there with Clifford. Could always bring the support down and get a 2-die block.
Those players are very close. Smells like a fight is about to happen.
Clifford is up top on the right? No. Clifford's on the left. Oh,
Right
there he is,
here.
on the left.
Where he just marked.
Yeah.
It's also a possibility of bringing. Well, I say that, but it would be really tough to get one around on that backside of the
That does
cage.
not help the White Owls, but he re-rolls, fortunately. Sacrifices a halfling to Nuffle, and Nuffle smiles upon him.
He got himself out of a dangerous situation.
There we go.
Does not follow
He's pushing
up.
that cage in, though. He is preventing some movement.
Yeah.
Keeping away from base contact of those orcs, too, so that's going to really help in the long run.
This is very
Not
patient
being
of
hit as
Stu
much.
to not panic yet. I mean, for Wood Elves, with 4 turns left after this one, that's still sufficient time for him to strike downfield.
This player likes to be well
Oh, we
assisted.
got a good blitz here. Got to push in on the cage. That side is pretty much closed for business now, besides one little square here on the bottom of Emil. So,
And this is looking powerful for Thunden right now. Thunden is sitting pretty.
ooh, we got one coming around the left side, though. That's good, though. There's only one elf in base contact there, so Thunden's only going to be able to hit two elves,
Better than
essentially.
hitting someone smaller than you.
Getting a mighty
there's a
blow
big
hit
mo.
there for a stun.
With the back smack, and yeah, it's another stun. Stuns all over the place. And the Woodies have been getting lucky to avoid injuries so far. The question is, what will Thunden do with his blitz? I know where I'd go. I think I would have actually hit the guy in the top right, but... Oh, he's going... I mean, he's trying to clear that War Dancer. What a good time
Yep,
to do it.
but it doesn't work.
Looking rather smug for
He
a
used a
native outlaw.
reroll on the hit,
Pride comes
which
before-
doesn't matter because Thunden had 4 rerolls in 4 turns, so you pretty much just have to keep using them on the next 4 turns.
Right. Adjustments are made.
That's a solid
Looks like the
formation.
cage is moving
I want to see
forward.
the
Why
opposing
not?
team have a go at the ball now.
Oh, well, not so much forward, right?
Probably about 1 square if you go on.
Oh, and he's just always
forward
getting...
in.
He's going to sleep.
It's
Going for
pretty
that
ballsy
foul.
to come up and... Wow. Okay. That could have gone wrong. That was a... Oh, and it did
Oh,
go
it
wrong.
did go
Gord has to
wrong.
send off. And it looks like the ball carrier may be open. He may be open. Did Thunden overextend?
Oh, the ball carrier is open. He does have support from 1 guy.
And because he's a black
there's
orc,
really-
that's gonna work
Yes.
out for him. It's probably still gonna be a red die block, or yeah, red die
Yeah,
block.
There's actually no effective way to get a tackle zone for an assist on that black orc. Well, there is actually, but it's going to be a long way.
Yeah, it is. More shots agrees. It's a red die block. He's calling it safe, but in Blood Bowl, you know, what does safe really mean? You know, red die blocks have been known to do their thing.
The Wood Elves are actually in a better spot than they look to be, though.
Yeah.
He has a really solid setup against Thunden here.
The
All
thing
hope
is,
not
defensively,
lost,
they're in a good spot defensively. The problem is playing defense is just not going to cut it anymore. They need a turnover.
for very true, very true.
Oh, and that does not
That'd be
help.
a skull.
There goes the last reroll. Ineffective. The War Dancer is now in contact with 2 orcs, so if he tries for the dodge and it goes wrong, he's in a lot of trouble.
Very true, but he still does have a pretty safe dodge out behind him there with no tackle zones on either of his backsides, so.
They'll need to get rid of the ball.
Okay,
Now
they've
there's
got
pressure
the
on them.
blitzer surrounded. Got a tackle zone on the work there. and that lineman on that black orc does in fact have block. So that black orc munch is not going to be able to use his block against Phil Galloway, generic lineman number 5. These elf names are hard.
Yeah. That's pretty much, you're just better off calling their number or saying elf lineman. There's another dodge failing. It's going to be a turnover. It is starting to get to desperation time for the White Owls. Only 3 turns left. The orcs are all bunched up in the middle. The Green Tide has no impetus to make a to take a chance here. They don't really need to. But in the favor of the White Owls, there is contact on the ball carrier. So,
and I believe any block that blitzer is going for there is going to turn out to be a 1 die. Maybe not the one to his left there with the block lineman.
This is one of those matches that it's not very exciting in terms of stuff actually happening. The ball's been sitting in pretty much the same place for the entire half. But, I mean, the first half was exciting. But now it's really just kind of a conservative ball. But the tension is there. You know, this stuff could kick off at any second.
Is the assist going to be enough to come out on top?
2 orcs on Fan Mice. And that looks like a successful block. A punch to the face. The elf flips over. He's on his back, but he's not hurt.
I really wish that Cabal Vision would let us see what the dice blocks would be when you click the player and you click the other player, like it does in the game.
What do you
really
mean
help out some of the...
Oh, what it would be
You know
when you...
how
Okay.
in the-
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can still select the player and then highlight another player, but it won't show what the block will be until they actually perform it.
I'm actually surprised that he laid off the... Oh, we've got an injury. All right, yells TMNL. And that lineman's going to lose a point in armor value, drop down to 6. God, at that point, you could just slap his wrist and he'll be out for a game. And right now, Stu's got a tough decision to make. Does he use the Apo? And he does. We got the Apothecary over there working on the elf, and let's see what the results of that are. No, it looks like he didn't use them. Unless he selected that. Unless he selected one as a... Yeah, so he chose not to use the Apo, it looks like.
Could possibly be a smart decision. You do probably want to save the War Dancers here for a chance at that.
Right. And that War Dancer is on his back. London not in a hurry to score and give the possibility of the other one coming back. But at this point, a score would seal the game anyway. So, whatevs. The cage now not even... It has widened out a lot. It looks like the map of Florida at this point. And every elf is on their back. That's just, man, that is a telling story of what this game has been. And basically elves, I mean, getting just crushed by these orcs. It's a street fight, and that's not what kind of match the Wood Elves needed it to be.
Yeah, it all sort of went downhill there with that dodge that resulted in the fumble in the very first half. It seemed like after that the Green Tide just kept building momentum. And the White Elves kept fighting back, but it was just a downward battle at that point for the Green Tide Titans.
There's a leap, successful, and he's gonna go for the red dice block. Oh, he got one of the dice he needed, but the other one is the death knell. Turnover. Green Tide would just have to hold on to this ball for 2 turns.
I think we're gonna see a lot more action from that War Dancer leap blitzing here to try and save the game at the last.
Yeah, desperation mode. Either that or he just retreats and tries to not get an injury. Prepare for TMNL next week. Big Mo, really stupid again, but at this point, what does it matter? There's the 2 dice block on the lineman. Clifford re-rolls, and this lineman survives. Looks like he's choosing not to knock him in the direction of Rob Shank, who probably could have took another swipe at him, but it looks like he's probably going to move that ball up the field, try to score. Is Thundon a Just Score magazine subscriber? We shall see.
It's no armor break there for the Wood Elf, so he's still in the play. Both downed Wood Elves will be in reaching distance of that black orc if he decides to peel out of the cage.
And Thundon choosing to move the cage rather than inflict a bunch of... Well, it looks like he's setting up for the foul, or is he just surrounding that thrower, or that catcher? I am hoping he fouls, personally. I'm not biased or anything.
Still going to be a semi-easy dodge out for those really dodgy elves there. Especially with the catcher having dodge. The thrower does not, but he's still got a free dodge out there when the tackle zone.
And right now, Thundon trying to decide how he wants to play this. Does he foul or does he blitz? Foul or blitz? Foul or blitz? Six seconds, and he goes for the blitz.
They're getting up close and personal, Bob.
Lands, and what's going to happen to that lineman?
He's okay.
He takes a seat. Nothing special. And will he move the ball carrier in time?
I think he's going to leave him right there.
Oh, he did get it off just in time. Yep. And it looks like Munch, is he even in scoring position for next turn?
No, he doesn't have enough, but that blitzer is.
It's one short, yeah.
Oh, precarious spot for him there. There's still some L's that could reach him and do something to wreak havoc. So.
I am a little surprised that he didn't take more of an aggressive scoring position, especially like we said before. Score does matter for the rankings now, so I think it hurt him that he let so much time pass on the prior turn. And now Stu's trying to figure out
do you think there's going to be any action at all in this game?
Most of these
I'd like to
L's
see
on
something
their back. I'm going to predict that we're going to see some dodges happen.
I agree. He pretty much has no choice but to do so.
And the dodge does not work well for him. There goes a kneecap. Not really. He'll get up next turn.
Nuffle has been very cruel to him on these 83% chances. He's just been rolling a lot of ones today. And I think if we had seen less ones, this match would be a lot different outcome right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I know you mentioned in the last podcast that sometimes it feels like there's a momentum meter. And I fully agree. Sometimes it feels like the game just will stack rolls against certain teams during the game. I know that sounds like an excuse, but it does definitely feel that way sometimes.
Yeah. You know what I mean, are you one of the guys that played it on tabletop?
I never played tabletop, no.
Okay, because I'd like to ask people that played it on tabletop, do you feel like the dice go the same way on tabletop?
Right.
Here comes the handoff.
Here comes the handoff, and he's going to botch the handoff, but a sacrifice is made to Nuffle, and it looks like we're going to have a 2-0 score.
Reroll really helped the Titans out there in that situation.
Hell yeah. Gorbag Marlar, that has to be a generic name, scores, making it 2-0. This has been pretty much a beating. That is, yeah, it's just not a good day, not a good debut for the White Owls. Again, not necessarily because of bad coaching, it's just those dice did not help him. More Shot says, Gorbag is the man.
I still have trouble sometimes with computer randomness. I feel like sometimes it's not fully as random. It more so goes through certain patterns that it perceives as random.
Yeah.
Is what I feel like.
You know, well, I was calculating like draft order for a fantasy football league I was doing.
Right.
And I did some studying on randomization, and I don't know if you know, like most of these computer programs that do randomization, they have like a program with an algorithm that is meant to be really random, but they're predetermined numbers that are just like scattered, so they use an equation to get it. It's not truly random. There is a method where you could get random.
I also have a degree in programming, and that's part of the reason why I kind of don't like computer randomness sometimes, because like you said, it's an algorithm of scattered numbers a lot of time when you try to determine your randomness, more so than an actual dice roll in real life is.
So there is a way around that. I don't know if you're familiar with it. What some programs have actually, how they've coped with it.
How do they do it?
So there's they take the sound from a beehive in one case, and then the other method, there's various methods, but they all follow basically the same, where they follow something that's truly random in life, like a beehive sound, and they track the sound over time. So ahead of time, they've equated each one of the, like, they've assigned a value to certain things in the sound, to certain pitches in the sound, and as the sound changes, they track it. And then they create their algorithm based off of that, extrapolating the millions of different fluctuations from the beehive, and using that. And then they'll do the same thing with an electrical hum. So they'll track like an electrical generator and how the electricity's humming. They'll do the same thing, and then that's how you get truly random results.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So when I was setting up my fantasy football order, yeah, so I was setting up my my draft fantasy football order, I came up on one of these websites, and they discussed it. If you want offline, I'll send you the link. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. There you have the basically meaningless turn 16 kick, and I'm going to be interested to hear from the coaches on how they think this went. If you stay tuned, we are going to have post-game interviews with both of the coaches, unless Stu leaves the locker room in frustration and refuses to talk to the media. This is just kind of like watching like a bigger guy just beat on a skinny guy, and you're just like, And in this case, the skinny guy. Yeah, in this case, the skinny guy beats up on the bigger guy. Milnor, the war dancer, lays Big Mo out. No lasting effect. And that's going to wrap up the game. Now, first I would like to hear from our winner. And that is Thundon. Coach Thundon of the Green Tide Titans. Are you there?
Good evening, gentlemen.
All right, you got to be feeling pretty good. You just handily dispatched the rookie coach and the rookie team. What are your first impressions of the game?
First impressions are that this isn't a rookie coach. He was just, when he set up his elf attack in the first half, that was pretty difficult to get out of. He literally just had one bad roll, and that just opened it up. Then the wizard didn't really do what he hoped for. So yeah, I think he was pretty unlucky just on the two really crucial decisions. Didn't go his way. And yeah, you just got to take advantage of that stuff, especially when you're slow-moving orcs who are missing two players, particularly your throw, and you like to play a bit like the throwing team.
It seemed like his defense, even while he wasn't able to dislodge the ball, and obviously you had the team to do that, to guard that ball. It seemed like his defense was pretty solid. He wasn't letting you advance for quite a while.
No, he knew what he was doing. This is no unseasoned player. You know, I got a lot of respect for Stu. Really, really good game, and just one of those games. We've all been knuckled. It's just one of those things.
Do you think it's also? Do you think his team is he under-equipped to go forward at this point and really make his mark in the MML this season in the Wicked Forest?
I think he's going to be a decent proposition for all coaches. You know, at the end of the day, the dude has 2 MA movement players. He's got some serious block on his linemen. Makes him a decent proposition even against the Bashy team, right? So yeah, I'd look for him picking up some serious scalps this season.
I agree. I think he's
coming in at a late point in the season as well. You know, Stu, nice one.
Yes, and I think too he's still got a chance at that bowl game because you just have to get that 500 record to make it into a bowl game. So even coming in late, if he can keep that record above 500, you know, we'll see him in the postseason. So
to get a bowl game, but not necessarily a conference championship to actually move on and play for the championship, right?
Yes, I think that him coming in late does kind of bring a disadvantage to that.
Right, he's got basically the equivalent standings-wise of 2 losses right now, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but this will be hard for him to come back. What do you think? One last question for you here, Thunden. Next week, these guys, White Owls, play TMNL. Who you think is going to win?
TMNL. Isn't that joke team that joined? I've heard of them a couple of times.
This interview's over. I want to hear from the White Owls. Steve, are you there? White Owls. What do you think, Stu?
Yes, hi.
All right, Stu. So, coming off a pretty one-sided match, it did. You know, I do agree with Thunden. It was a lot closer than the score showed. What's if you could sum everything up in one word? What do you think? What's that one word that comes to mind?
You just can't trust
Dice.
Yeah.
We agree. We mentioned that through the broadcast that, you know, there was a lot of times where you rolled a lot of ones, and, you know, like you said, it's just those dice, and sometimes they don't fall the right way, and it's very frustrating. Your strategy was really good there. You played a very solid defense. If there was something that you could have done differently, what would you have done differently besides the dice there?
Differently on defense, I'm not too sure I could have done something more because he has a lot of 4-strength players, which is hard to deal with, especially when he boxes it up with 5 guys around him. So that's pretty hard to do. I could have tried some red dice a little bit more often, but I really don't like those.
Yes.
Who does?
Otherwise, that's my dog.
That's
Give me
cool.
a second.
No problem. What's the dog's name?
Yeah, okay.
No problem. I can cut
The
that.
dog name is Capu.
Oh, nice.
It's a smaller word for cappuccino.
Nice. So next week you're going to have TMNL up against you, a very formidable team, let me tell you, from what I hear. And you're going to be dealing with 6 Sauruses and a Croxigore. So you're going to have, several 4-strength guys, a couple of 5-strength guys. What kind of adjustments will you make then?
Well, again, for this team, I think personally I'm a little bit less scared of lizards because of their low agility. You just need to put a guy on those Sauruses and then they're stuck there.
Yeah, that's a
so
limitation,
that's
definitely.
a little bit easier than the orcs. I know they're pretty strong. I didn't have time to watch games from TMNL. I didn't have time to look at their players.
Yeah, who has time to scout? You should just walk into the next game not scouting. It's cool.
Well, I've been scouting Thunden a little bit, and it didn't turn out very well.
So let me ask you about that. What did he do differently this game than what you expected after having scouted him?
Well, I watched 2 games that he played. I didn't have the chance to watch one against Owlz, so it's pretty hard to compare. I saw that he likes to build lines, which he didn't really do against me. He made a big box, and that's pretty much all. But again, it wasn't against Owlz, so it's hard to compare.
Right.
I think he played a good game. He had Mighty Blow players, which hurt.
Yeah,
And
he was
he
definitely
used them
wiping up the
correctly.
floor. Some of your guys were kicked out, and you had a numbers disadvantage for a while. As far as inducements go, knowing what you know now and how this went, what would you do differently as far as inducements, if anything?
I think I would have left it that way. I only have 2 rerolls with this team, so obviously I needed my third one. And Wizard is a game changer. You get lucky or not, it's going to change the game. So you need it.
No one knows where it went.
You got any more questions for him there, Dalt?
I think we covered everything.
Great. Well, thank you for being such a good sports
game
dude.
coaching. Yeah, and good game coaching. Welcome
Hey
to
guys,
the
I'd
MML.
just like to say, good commentating job as well. Adds another level to it, boys.
Oh, thank you. We try. And yeah, both of you guys played an awesome game. I definitely agree with Dundon. Stu is not, I mean, he may be a rookie coach in the MML, but he doesn't coach like a rookie coach, and he's definitely somebody that, you know, everybody should watch out for. And TMNL will be definitely not taking them lightly next week.
Yes, Stu, good luck for the rest of the season, man, and especially for next week.
Yeah, thank
Hater,
you.
he's a
I'll try
hater.
to kick those lizards.
You know, there's one thing I would have done differently.
What's that?
That last score, I'd have knocked around a little bit on the end zone and then gone in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There was no. I think you were just at that point. You weren't even trying to showboat or smack talk. You were just like, let me finally get in this end zone.
Cool.
These elves have been a problem. Real quick, shout out to the chat room. If you're in the chat room, More Shots is very active. He's been saying this is a tough team to have your very first game against. Yeah, and I feel your pain there, Stu. My first game was against the Leaping Lizards, against Don Eagle, another seasoned coach whose team was also in the 1500. TV range. So this is like a tough welcome. It's very much, kind of hazing. But once you get beyond that, I'm sure we'll both be fine. More Shots also says it's 12 points for a bowl game, so it's not determined, I guess, by your wins versus losses, 500 record necessarily. You just need 12 points. And Stormjar says good job, everyone, and More Shots says thank everyone.
Well, that's kind of the thing, though. If you do have 12 points, you usually will be at like a 500 record or so.
Probably works out the same way, right?
Don't go like that, man. The shot's caught you out.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us. And this replay will be available on Twitch and YouTube, and I'll send Preach the link so you can link it to the site. This is a pleasure.
Later, folks.
All right, guys. Stopping the broadcast.